So, Caitlin Clark, it has been revealed that Ice Cube offered her $1.5 million per game. And this is my favorite thing, is that the big three will use Caitlin Clark in every bit of their promotion.
Caitlin Clark, the star who propelled women's basketball into primetime, just declined a $15 million Big Three league offer. While the WNBA breathed a collective sigh of relief, some players remain envious, insisting they deserve equal recognition in a narrative largely shaped by her. Clark's decision highlights her loyalty to the league while cementing her as the face of women's basketball, a role few could rival.
Caitlin Clark, did you turn down $15 million? Oh, that's a boss move. Oh, that's a crazy boss move. I understand. You got Nike deals. You got freaking PGA Golf Tour, Live Golf Tour. You got hockey sponsor. I know you got a lot going on, but to turn down 15 M's, unrivaled. If y'all thought a few million and some equity was going to get her to show up and play in your league, you got another.
This isn't just about money. It's about a 23-year-old sensation prioritizing loyalty over luxury, fans over fortune, and the future of women's basketball over personal gain. While WNBA players cap out at $249,244 annually, Caitlin Clark turned down life-changing wealth, enough to buy a small island or a dream home with a backyard basketball court. Her decision cements her as a true icon of the sport's future.
The $15 million, that's life-changing money for anyone, let alone a rookie athlete. So where did this unbelievable offer come from, and why on earth would Caitlin Clark turn it down? So the offer, as you guys can see on the article on the screen, was from the Big Three, the 3-on-3 basketball league founded by the one and only Ice Cube, and the first offer was already huge, a cool $5 million ball, but in a sign of just how desperate they were to get Clark, they tripled it, blowing it up to a massive 50.
Ice Cube's Big Three league didn't just toss Caitlin Clark a casual offer. They started at $5 million and skyrocketed to an incredible $5 million and skyrocketed to an incredible $5 million and skyrocketed to an incredible $15 million for just 10 weeks of play. That's $1.5 million per game, yes, per game. To put it in perspective, most WNBA players would need 6 decades to earn what Clark could have made in a single afternoon of basketball.
Caitlin Clark. The Big Three reportedly offered Caitlin Clark $15 million for 10 games. For 10 games. That is insane. That's wild. And it says she declined. That's a lot of chicken to turn down. I can't lie to you. I literally can't. I can't. That is insane. I don't know, bro. $15 million for 10 games. Whoo. Woo.
Here's the best part. She said no. Not maybe. Not let me think about it. A clear, decisive, thanks but no thanks. While others toss shade on social media, craving attention they haven't earned, Caitlin Clark shows real perspective. She understands what this moment truly means for women's basketball and chooses grace over drama.
Ice Cube, I'm sorry, my precious CC said no. 15 mil to play in your Big Three league? No, I don't chase the money. Money chase me. You hear me? At the end of the day, she is worth $1 billion. By the time her career ends, I'm telling you, all these other endorsement deals she have, and then make it make sense. Why was she playing a Big Three against NBA players who are stronger than her, which can injure her? You hear me? She would be the smallest person on the court. That wouldn't even make sense. And then I'm thinking like, y'all probably would try to embarrass her and all of that, bro. Like, it's a lot of undercover hate going on.
The WNBA was in full panic, cycling through every stage of grief in just 72 hours. First came denial, surely their golden goose wouldn't actually leave. Then anger, how dare someone offer their star player real money when most of the league can barely scrape 6 figures. Bargaining followed. Maybe they could cobble together creative marketing deals or endorsements to sweeten the pot. Depression set in when they faced the harsh math. Clark could earn more in 10 weeks elsewhere than an entire WNBA roster makes under the salary cap. Finally, acceptance arrived, tinged not with defeat, but with the sweetest relief the league had ever felt.
Down. Caitlin Clark, you so much better than me. As a WNBA would have never, hey listen, I would have never stepped foot on that court. $1.5 million per game. Bron don't even make that. And you turned it down for her contract in the WNBA, she gonna make like $400,000 in 4 years. That's the part that I don't really understand about WNBA players. They make so much bread everywhere else. They be making more bread in college. They make more bread overseas. They can make more in Unrivaled, the Big Three. There's so many options, but they still be playing in the WNBA. I don't get it. Go on strike, bro. If there's money like this available, go get it, bro. Don't be loyal to a league that's not.
Clark said no. She chose them. She chose the grind of an 82-degree gym in Indiana over the glitz of whatever the Big Three dangled in front of her. The WNBA didn't just dodge a bullet, they dodged a financial nuclear bomb. Instead, while Clark made arguably the most selfless decision in modern sports, her peers were busy tallying up just how unfair life had become. Consider the math. The WNBA's salary cap sits at $1,507,100 per team, for an entire roster of 11 to 12 players. Clark's Big Three deal? Nearly 10 times that figure for one player across 10 games. The numbers are so lopsided they don't just break the cap. They insult mathematics itself, underscoring the enormous gap between Clark's true market value and what the league can actually pay.
If you want a good example of what it looks like when people are jealous of you, look at Caitlin Clark. She is undeniably a great basketball player. That is just a fact. Now, there have been a lot of great basketball players before her, and there will be after her. But what we do know is that she is getting a ton of recognition, and that breeds jealousy. When you shine bright and you're really great at what you do, people come for you more because you are great. Notice how much friction there is on the court. There is always someone going up against her. There's always people taking personal offense to her.
Let's address the elephant in the arena, jealousy. Dick Vitale, who's forgotten more about basketball than most players will ever learn, called it exactly what it is, pure jealousy. The proof came in All-Star voting. Despite leading all fans and finishing third in media rankings, Caitlin Clark was ranked just 9th among guards by her fellow players. The message couldn't be clearer. Many would rather cut off their shooting hands than admit Clark has elevated their sport, drawing more attention than they ever could on their own.
The WNBA's jealousy of Caitlin Clark has never been more obvious as players vote her the 9th best guard. Yes, you read that right, bro. The WNBA just had their All-Star voting return, and the players voted Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard in the league. Mind you, this is the same Caitlin Clark that came in breaking every record. She putting up numbers that have never been done in WNBA history. She literally has the entire league on her back. Look down here. This is how many votes she got from the fans. Look, she got 1.2 million All-Star votes. Not only is that a WNBA record, but it breaks her own record from last year when she got 700,000 as a rookie. And this, look, for reference, the top 30 vote getters for the 2023 All-Star game got 1.7 million.
Clark's WNBA salary is, frankly, a cosmic joke. She's making $78,066 this season, less than what some people spend on a luxury car, while being responsible for roughly 27% of the league's total economic activity. One economist at Indiana University even calculated that Clark generated $36 million in economic impact for Indianapolis alone during her rookie year. She's bringing in more money than some small countries, yet the WNBA is paying her like she's running a Dairy Queen. And how has she responded? With absolute grace. While players like Aya Wilson are busy leaking details of their own contract offers just to stay relevant, Clark shrugs off the chaos with lines about not paying $10 for airplane Wi-Fi because she's a little cheap. This is a woman who just walked away from $15 million. Yet she's stressing over internet access on a Delta flight. That's not just humility, that's transcendent perspective. What makes her decision even more remarkable is the bigger picture. Clark could have easily said screw it to the WNBA ecosystem. And who could have blamed her? A league that grossly underpays her, players who openly resent her, and media voices constantly questioning if she deserves the spotlight. Any rational person would have taken the money and run. But Caitlin Clark isn't rational in the traditional sense. She's visionary. She sees the future, and she's building it for women's basketball, not just herself.
Her endorsement deals must be pretty decent for her to willingly turn that down, because we know her WNBA salary is nothing to brag about. But for her to do that, I guess I look at it like this. If she were to have accepted that before she even stepped foot on a WNBA court, I could only imagine how they would have treated her. I don't even think she would have made it through half the season. She would have had a season-ending injury for sure. With how rough they were treating her as a rookie and fouling her and just being aggressive with her in comparison to other players, I don't think she would have made it through the season as a rookie. So I guess in a sense that may be a blessing in disguise. It's hard to say a blessing in disguise when you lose out on 15 M's, but nobody knows. That may have been a blessing in disguise.
Caitlin Clark understands that her value isn't just measured in dollars. It's in the little girls now dreaming of shooting logo threes and the mothers planning family outings around WNBA games, building something sustainable for women's basketball in America, not simply cashing in on a moment. The reality of what Clark has already built is staggering. The Indiana Fever, who drew just 81,000 fans across the entire 2023 season, surpassed that figure in their first 5 home games with Clark on the roster. When the Mystics Fever matchup was moved from a 4,100-seat venue to a 20,300-seat arena, and still sold out, it wasn't just a basketball game, it was a cultural event. Families traveled across state lines, kids wore Clark jerseys to school, and suddenly women's basketball became a water cooler topic in offices nationwide. And the most telling stat? WNBA merchandise sales jumped 236% year over year. Not 36. 236%. That's not ordinary growth, that's an economic explosion. And it's all driven by one player who chose vision over greed, deciding that building something lasting for women's basketball mattered more than grabbing the biggest paycheck available.
They're trying to destroy her from within, and it's the players. Realistically, I know we're out of time. WNBA last year was the first year in its like 25-30-year existence that it was profitable. Made $1 million. But it was the first time that it didn't lose money because the NBA supplements. Well, when Caitlin Clark comes to town, you have to go from the 8,000-seat WNBA arena to the 30,000-seat whatever arena across town because of ticket sales and all of the apparel and all of this stuff that's coming from Caitlin Clark, and you're just like, okay, but the league is totally destroying her. You know,
While Caitlin Clark was busy turning down generational wealth, other WNBA players were left calculating their own inadequate paychecks. The league's highest-paid player earns $249,244 a year, roughly what Clark was offered per game by the Big Three. Thanks to the restrictive salary cap, no player can earn more than that, making the WNBA's entire pay structure fundamentally incompatible with compensating stars at their true market value. This is why players like Kelsey Mitchell, the current highest earner, and Jackie Young, with her $504,900 2-year deal, can't help but view Clark's rejected offer with a cocktail of awe and envy. Compared to what Clark could have made in just 10 games, their salaries look like rounding errors. But here's the beautiful irony: Clark's decision to stay is exactly why those paychecks may finally grow. And that leap will be possible only because Clark chose to build the WNBA brand rather than abandon it for instant gratification.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the meetings that are going to happen in Indianapolis are going to be really important. And, you know, although I'm not our team rep or on the committee, like I'm still, you know, trying to understand and engage as much as possible. Obviously, this is my second year in the league, but also this is like a very important time for our league and where it's going to continue to grow. So, you know, I'm certainly looking forward to those meetings and being in them. And I think everybody in our league is to help these CBA talks continue to move forward. So, should be very important for us on Thursday. Yes, I'll be there.
You've played in NBA.
When Caitlin Clark announced she was staying in the WNBA, front office executives likely needed medical attention for stress-induced heart palpitations. The league has been riding the Caitlin Clark wave since her record-breaking college days, and losing her would have been like losing the engine while the plane was still climbing. Every expansion team paying hundreds of millions to join, it all traces back to the phenomenon Clark created. She hasn't just raised the profile of women's basketball, she has fundamentally altered the league's entire business model. What was once a barely sustainable niche product has transformed into a legitimate entertainment option competing with major men's sports for attention and dollars. If you want proof of her cultural and economic weight, look no further than Clark's rookie card. It sold for $660,000 at auction, more than her entire 4-year WNBA contract combined. When a single piece of cardboard featuring Clark's image is worth more than what she earns for actually playing, it's undeniable evidence that the WNBA's compensation structure is completely out of step with reality.
$660,000 is insane. I'm sure there are plenty of cards out there that have gone for more than that. One, it is her second year. What are we doing? Like, I get that the Caitlin Clark fanfare is a whole thing. I think she's a great basketball player.
Caitlin Clark has embraced the role of humble champion, navigating the chaos around her with textbook leadership. While some players grumble about media attention and unequal spotlight, Clark talks instead about fans remembering the moments they shared at games and the joy of watching their kids light up in the stands. She isn't chasing personal accolades, she's focused on building a legacy for an entire generation of young athletes who now see women's basketball as a stage worth dreaming about. When asked about turning down the Big Three's $15 million offer, Clark didn't frame it as sacrifice or nobility. Instead, she redirected the conversation back to the fans and to the future of the sport itself. That isn't polished media training, it's genuine understanding of what this moment represents far beyond individual bank accounts. And let's be clear about what she accomplished by saying no. Clark willingly chose to be underpaid in service of something bigger. The WNBA's salary structure ensures she'll never earn what she's truly worth. Yet she chose potential over instant gratification, growth over personal enrichment, and building something sustainable over cashing in on a fleeting trend. In doing so, she became more than a star, she became a visionary leader.
Look, she's smarter than a lot of people think at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure she has a lot of stock options. You hear me? She's the face of the league. That lets me know y'all going out y'all way to get her to come play for y'all. Whatever y'all built, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool, but at the end of the day, her focus is the WNBA. Nobody can't tell me that she ain't the face of the league. Matter of fact, since she turned it down, how about you go get Angel Reese? I know, cause she ain't worth nothing more than a Popeye's chicken sandwich and some.
This story isn't really about money, it's about vision. Caitlin Clark saw an opportunity to transform women's basketball from a charity case into a legitimate entertainment juggernaut, and she chose to stay in the WNBA to finish the job. While jealous peers grumble about media coverage and fight for equal billing in a story that wouldn't exist without her, Clark remains locked in on the only thing that truly matters, building something that will outlast all of their individual careers combined. For now, the WNBA can breathe easy. Their golden goose isn't flying the coop, and the league can continue riding the momentum she has generated. But leadership needs to wake up. They must figure out how to properly compensate the woman who has single-handedly saved their business model before another league, or another visionary owner, comes forward with an offer she cannot refuse. Because next time, even Caitlin Clark's legendary loyalty might not be enough to overcome the brutal math of being valued at $1 billion yet paid like a recent college graduate. The panic may have passed, but the lesson remains. Sometimes the most valuable player isn't the one demanding the largest paycheck, it's the one willing to sacrifice personal gain to build something bigger than themselves. Clark has shown that champions aren't only made on the court. Sometimes, they're made by walking away from the biggest payday of their lives to chase something even more powerful: legacy.